Good afternoon, everybody. You know who it is. It's targeted individual, CJBK. Um, right now I'm home. I was kind of, I don't know, I was hoping to actually do something more outdoorsy today, but I don't know. I guess I figured, I'll take today to be like my full rest day. Um, I got to, I'm always going outside every day, no matter what. I refuse to let any of this, keep me in my house. I'm not gonna be no hermit crab. I'm not hiding. I don't have anything to hide because I feel like people who have stuff to hide, that means they have the most to lose. So I'm not hiding anything. Um, for the most part, started to notice certain things going on now, like right in between my middle finger and my index finger, like right there. Or let me see. So basically, oh, basically, so like right here. I don't recall actually banging my hand against anything or feeling anything in particular, but knowing that I'm constantly being radiated, every day. I know after at some point, my nervous system is taking hits, all the time. So I'm starting to feel some numbness in my hand at this point. Um, and I mean it doesn't stop. Whether I'm in my apartment, or whether I go to, you know, any other building somewhere, it's like it's a constant, tracking, and then once they find, I guess, a source of like some type of like ionized, non-ionized EMF somewhere, they just kind of like manipulate it so that it's like affecting my body more. Um, and for the most part, yeah, I just kind of find it. I still find it even more interesting how I'm constantly meeting more and more people, whether online or in person, and a lot of them are women who have children, and they're telling me stories about how like they're not it's not just them being attacked too, but they're also going after their children. The handlers, the electronic handlers, they're going after their children, using this radiation against their children, and um, like right now I'm laying on my couch, and I'm pins and needles everywhere, pins and needles everywhere. It's like imagining it's like imagine having like 1 billion needles being stuck onto your body, like being poked at your body at one time. That's literally what the radiation feels like. You know, and I told myself I'm not gonna worry about death. I'm not gonna worry about the possibility that I might get set up for a crime I never committed, because I mean that's what they do in organized stalking or organized harassment or gang stalking, however you want to call it, because they create synthetic crimes. Synthetic crimes is basically when someone can, it's here's what they do. In my previous video I showed you where in Florida, there's been a lawsuit where they go into detail stating that people have put in like fake complaints about a person, saying that this person was going to commit a crime, or they seen, what's the words? They seemed possible of committing a crime, and so they harassed this person, and then trying to see if they can get them to commit this crime. And what'll end up happening is if you're not mentally prepared for this or mentally aware of the tactics that they'll use, you will find yourself being harassed so much, and then next thing you know, you're going to react. Then once you react, it's gonna be their word against yours. And then the sad part is their word is already being spread and pushed into the law enforcement, or pushed into the courts or whatever, because what they do is they'll get a number of people who will sign up to lie about you and your character, and then they'll harass you covertly until you actually commit the crime that they said that you would commit. So it's amazing. I mean, like right now they're still radiating in my body, but I said, God willing, I can't let them get me to react. I refuse to let them to get me to react. And then I said, one thing I will not do, I will not become another Myron May. I will not become another Aaron Alexis. I will not become another, negative statistic. I mean, I'm like, if God is going to allow them to take me out, then, I'm going to make sure I'm the most peaceful person that they do it to. Because then when this all blows up and the world sat back and watched something happen to somebody who was never a threat to begin with, I just hope that guilt falls heavy on their hearts. And, I'm just keeping my faith in God. God said not to worry about what the workers of iniquities or the transgressors, will do against you. And I'm just kind of like, I figure, you know what? Yeah, it's almost time for me to get a retwist. I don't know. I might just dread it out. I don't know. But anyway, so I have a couple of things I want to share. I'm gonna get a little, biblical, just for a little bit. I'm gonna try not to make this video too long, right? All right. Revelations 21:7. Yeah, Revelations 21:7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. All right, that's Revelations. Revelations 21:7. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is in the second death. All right. Go through some more, and I just got chills. Every time I say I got chills, that means God is listening to me. God is listening, and he is acknowledging that I am still keeping myself focused on him. Okay. Now, we're looking at now this is how I feel. So I'm a lucky TI where I actually have a job, and I consider myself a very bold one too, because I make deliveries. So I'm outside every day. Not all day, but I go out in the early mornings, finish in the afternoons. So I'm out there when there's basically no one out there except for people probably getting home late from hanging out, or people out there ready to start something up. And this is what I keep in mind every time I leave my house, because, the one thing I will not do is I will not allow anyone to put fear in my heart. Deuteronomy 18:22. When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. And then Deuteronomy 20, verse 1. When thou goest out to battle, I think this is what I actually meant to read. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And that's literally what I do every single day. I know I've done nothing to no one to deserve this. I know I'm not a threat to no one. I know I'm not a disrespectful person. No one who ever actually met me, or anyone who probably ever crossed paths with me, could ever say that I'm a disrespectful person. So I already know I'm going up against people who have technology, and they have the ears of everyone who's willing to listen. I myself, I've never been a follower. And I've always tried my best to never, be a follower. My mom, she raised me not to be a follower. She would always be the type to say, if everybody jumped off the bridge, you gonna jump too? So yeah, and I still smile no matter what. Now they trying to attack my chest. They think I'm being too confident, so they're gonna try to attack my chest now. What else? Oh, and I've been thinking about these two for a while. Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 24. Cursed be he that smiteth his neighbor secretly, and all the people shall say amen. All of this covert attacking stuff, all of this covert harassment stuff, everything that they're trying to do is all about trying to secretly destroy people's lives and get away with it, and then also collect money on top of that. And God is, and remember, this isn't the Bible. The Bible was written centuries ago. We already seen throughout history what happened to several groups of people who tried to see if they can destroy people's lives secretly. And, eventually they will find their demise, But it's not on us to just, we're in the suffering part, but you also got to remember, Jesus suffered and died on a cross for all of our sins. For every person out there that basically turned on Jesus, they watched him suffer, they laughed at him, they threw stones at him, they did everything, and he didn't cry, he didn't even really flinch. He just took it. So I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk in the same path as Jesus. They're going to do everything to me while I'm doing nothing to them. All I'm doing is telling my story, and I'm helping other people tell their stories. And whatever ways that I can help people try to understand whatever that they can, or whatever knowledge that I obtain about, electromagnetic field radiation, radio frequency radiation, there's so many other things. And then now, I'm pretty sure maybe some people don't really know about chemtrails or contrails yet, but hopefully that information will get out there, because it's funny. I have been doing some research on, I'm gonna say this now. I'm not against anyone that gets vaccinated. I'm not against anyone that doesn't get vaccinated. But I'm just saying, I pay attention to the news, and I pay attention to the data that's out there. The people who are vaccinated, who did get fully vaccinated, and they've reported their injuries or their side effects, whether it's like bouts with ringing in the ears, or what they're calling tinnitus, whether it's magnetic pressure at the top of the head, whether it's, loss of, vision, like blurred vision, whether it's, um, whether it's taking metal objects and then placing it on their body, and then all of a sudden their body is magnetic, and now that item is sticking to their body. Whether it's, developing respiratory problems, or developing heart problems, or some people actually had to get their limbs amputated after getting the vaccine. So many different things. And I'm just saying, a lot of those same symptoms are some of the similar symptoms that many targeted individuals are receiving. And then, to be honest, I'm not even vaccinated. And then when I'm reading some of these side effects that these fully vaccinated people are getting, I'm like, why these side effects and their injuries sound so similar to the stuff that I'm experiencing? And I'm not even vaccinated. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't have any antibodies. I don't have the COVID antibodies. But I've been doing a lot of research on, stuff like magnetized proteins, or nanoparticles, which are metals, and which can be magnetized themselves. And then also learning about what can happen when you have too much magnesium in the body. A lot of this stuff is somehow related, and you just gotta, like, I don't know. It's still a lot of research that's got to be done into this. I'm going to keep on going while I still have a breath in my body. I'm going to keep on going. While there's still women, children, men, elderly people being attacked by this stuff, I'm going to keep on going. Yeah, so sorry. I had to, I'm not really good at video editing, so yeah, I had to, clear up some space on my phone. But yeah, but like I said, I'm not afraid. And then, to be honest, like, I have been through quite a bit in my lifetime. I've been beat up before. I've been, harassed by, groups of people. Growing up where I grew up, there's always going to be a group that's going to want to try to see if they can, try you, or they're going to want to try to beat you because they know they can get away with it because they got a group. I've been sexually abused as a child. I've been, I've been assaulted, by adults, as a child. I've had so much actually done to me where I should have actually grown up to be a very angry person. I should have grown up to be a very, some would say, even hateful and almost violent person. But you know what? I think my mother, and I think my family, I think, different friends I've met over the years, I literally thank God too, because if it wasn't for God, for keeping me grounded, keeping me very in tune with that spirit that, and as I'm trying to speak, they're trying to tune their frequencies right now. I kid you not, I was not going through any of this of all my life. I was never going through any of this. And all of a sudden I moved into this building here in the Bronx. All of a sudden I start going through all this weird stuff. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I still don't even really know that many people out in this neighborhood for them to really come at me like the way they're doing. But anyway, so yeah. Like, look, people could call me what they want. They saying I'm snitching on them. Well, F it. Cause honestly, I'm not trying to antagonize nobody, but it's kind of cowardice to throw stones and hide your hands, though. It's kind of cowardice to throw stones and hide your hands, let alone hide your face too. And it's like, it's the most craziest thing to me, because I'm like, I grew up like I grew up in Bed-Stuy in the '90s, where like if somebody had a problem with you, they come at you know exactly who it was, who's doing it, and like I never really had no problems growing up in Canarsie either, but still I know that like ain't nobody hiding their dislike for you. If they have a problem with you, they will go and check you themselves. But this whole stuff that they doing right now, this is some weird ass 21st century stuff. This is some weird stuff. And now everyone is looking at me. I'm talking like friends, family, everyone is looking at me weird. Like I'm the one that's doing harm to everyone else because I'm speaking up against something that should not be happening to me because I don't do nothing to nobody. And then now I'm just kind of like, you know what? If this is the way God has my life planned out now, where you know what, that's a whole nother scripture in itself. You know, you know what, but let me read this next one. Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 25. Cursed be thee that taketh reward to slay an innocent person, and all the people shall say amen. So I mean, like there's so many things that's like literally trying to come after me, and like from much of the different readings I've been doing, and just kind of realizing that, you know what, God chose me to go through this for a reason. And I have not once said to myself that why me, God, why me? And actually, I'm not gonna lie, I did. But then after a while, I had to look up other targeted individuals to understand why could someone actually be doing this to me. And then it's only one solid answer for this, because when you were born, God had a specific light for you. God had a specific light for you, and you just didn't know at some point, but the world was going to seek your light out and try to extinguish it. Why? Because you live a certain life that's going to be different from the world. And then I'm glad I actually said that same sentence, because now here we are, John chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. That's Jesus. That's Jesus right there. Now, John 15, verse 19. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And I'm just like, I just accept it. I accept the fact that people are coming after me. People hate me for things that I did not do unto anyone. I'm just accepting that, and I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. People die every single day. People die every single day. People slip out of their shower and fall, hit their head. Next thing you know, they're dead. People walking across the street, probably texting on their phone, get hit by a bus, they're dead. There's in some country somewhere, there's someone dying of hunger. In some country somewhere, there's a kid who's just walking, across the road, and a suicide bomber just blows up a building and kills like 38 people. People die every single day. Does that mean every single person that dies is good or bad? No, not really, but I just acknowledge the fact that people die every day. So if I'm going to be slowly killed because some group of people decided they wanted to use technology to invade my mind, my privacy, and try to extort me, in like a form of like cyber human trafficking means to try to force me to, do something I don't want to do and I refuse, then I mean, I guess that's what's going to happen. And I mean, this is why I'm being so open about, because I don't have anything to hide. I don't even make a lot of money for someone to really be trying to extort me for something. Like, that's the point that I don't get. They could be doing this to like wealthy rich people, but no, they're actually going after working class, people who don't make a lot of money. They use this, and they're also using this against people who live in what's considered non-snitching, neighborhoods, you know. And I'm just like, see, I don't understand how could anybody not want to go against something like this. This is entirely too invasive. Why would you give yourself into something like this? I have no idea. And they're like, oh, we're trying to offer you an opportunity. You could make more money. You could do da. But I'm like, under what pretenses, though? I'm basically being monitored all the time. And then, at any given moment, you have the ability to, probably cause disruptions in my central nervous system. So if it comes to a point where, like, if I have to actually do my job as an officer of the law, and when every job that I take it seriously. So if I have to do my job as an officer of the law, and then here they come with their transmissions in my head to my let him go. And I'm like, nah, I can't let him go. This person did this. Then next thing you know, I'm going to get tortured. So I'm just like, no. And then on top of that, I'm thinking to myself, they're remote neural monitoring, which means they can see everything that I see, hear everything that I hear. That would basically jeopardize every single person on the police force, every single investigation, every single thing that I see and hear. They would literally know everything. And that's basically like mayhem. But you know what? With that being said, it kind of makes me wonder, do they already have people in the police force? I mean, if that's the case, because I mean, so far, like, I know some TIs say that they have been harassed by police. I haven't yet, and I'm kind of like, it's already in the back of my mind. I'm just waiting on that day that they finally do, because they've been saying that they have a police report on me. I don't know. Tell you the truth, I actually wrote, who did I write? I think I wrote either the CIA or NSA, and I was like, yo, by the Freedom of Information Act, I would like to know if there's any reports placed against me or investigations. They told me they couldn't tell me anything because then that would be kind of like counterproductive, because it's like, what if a terrorist contacted them and I was like, yeah, we want to know if you have any information about an investigation of them. So they didn't tell me anything. So, like I said, I'm just going to live my life out in the open. They're going to keep remote neural monitoring me while I just keep trying to figure out ways to see if I could break from this chain. Because, and I know God is going to help me. God is going to help me find out the right information for me to break free. And I know I'm getting close, because every time I start to read certain materials, learn about certain things, that's when they get real excited, and they start to shoot their direct energy attacks at me, because they know I'm starting to learn too much. So I know the more I learn, the more painful it becomes. And I'm like, look, by the grace of God and the faith and strength of Jesus Christ, I'm like, I am going to learn how to break this chain, because matter of fact, if you look in one of my other videos, I think it's like probably vlog number 33. It's like a German video where like people are walking around the streets in the public, whatever, and the next thing you know, people just drop like flies. Bloop, 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 drop. People driving, they just knock out. And I'm just kind of wondering, at the end of the video, it's in German, but it reads, vaccination successful. So I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, I'm pretty sure that's just theoretic video, whatever, but at the same time, this mind uploading stuff, this electronic harassment stuff, all this this uploading people's mind to a cloud, server, whatever the case may be, Um, yeah, and if you don't believe me, trust me, I'm about to upload a video that'll explain that too. Um, but it won't be coming from my mouth. It'll be actual doctors and physicists and technologists or technicians and stuff who are giving conferences talking about the ability to upload the mind and thoughts and memories into servers. They're literally in conferences talking about these things. You know what? Here's one name I could give you. Look up Steve Hoffman. He was the first one that I've seen, besides Dr. Jose Delgado and James Giordano, who are talking about this type of technology. But Steve Hoffman, he's talking about it as if like, I kid you not, it's one of the 10 commandments: thou shalt not make any graven image of the earth, of the heavens above, the earth, well, the waters beneath, well, the earth beneath the waters, and something else like that. But yeah, Steve Hoffman is talking about like creating realities for us to be able to upload our minds into, basically leaving our physical bodies to live in augmented virtual reality. Augmented reality, virtual reality. But yeah. So yeah, I still made another long video. I'm trying to see if I could keep it short, but I guess a lot of times I have a lot to say. Hell, if you know me for all these years, you already know that when I used to write my poetry and short stories, they was always long. Speaking of short stories and everything, this is just a rough draft, but I am working on a screenplay, and it's going to be based off my experiences. Cool. I got the influence from watching The Spark by let me see. Well, it's a film called The Spark. I forgot. Is Steven something? Yeah, but it's a movie based on this actor who was in Hollywood, but then eventually he began getting targeted. So then his life pretty much changed, and he made a movie based on his experiences. So yeah, I was like, you know what? I spent a lot of time during quarantine watching a lot of films, and I mean, I love watching movies and TV shows too. So, and I've always been someone who is really into writing or getting my thoughts and imagination down into words. So I said, you know what, let me try my hand at it. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it there. I feel like I said enough. I know when I stop recording, they're probably gonna go so hard. They're gonna go so hard on me. My couch is probably full of radiation. If you don't know yet, if you're sleeping on a bed or a couch that has metal coils in it, trust me, the metal is actually conducting the radiation, and it's embedded in the metal springs. So when you sit down on it, your body is just like soaking it up. Just so you know. But me, I'm just at the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take this on the chin. I'm gonna take it on the chin, because I mean, God willing, I know the United Nations have a Nils Meltzer, that's on the investigation of all this type of stuff. I know there's other human rights organizations out there that's looking into this stuff. I don't know how successful any of them are gonna be, but I just figured, you know what? If I'm gonna end up dead or in prison for something I didn't do, then at least I'm not gonna be quiet the entire time that it's happening to me. I'm not gonna be quiet. So, all right, everyone. Remember, keep yourselves high in vibrations. Whatever you do that makes you happy, do that. Do that. Also, yeah, don't be afraid to look. Don't be afraid to read the Bible. If you don't want to read a bunch of stuff in the Bible, just read Psalm. Read the book of Psalm. Especially 23, 31, 37, 94. Especially those. But really, a lot of Psalm actually goes into detail about how it's a lot of it actually sounds like gang stalking that took place centuries ago. So you know, hey, gang stalking's been around for centuries. It's just a different generation, new technology. Different faces, same mentality. So, but yeah, like I always say, take every day one step. Well, no, I always say, what is it? One breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace, love, and good night. You hear that, right? They're adjusting their directional speaker or amplifier. They face it downwards, so that way the waves come straight down on me as I'm laying on, sitting down or laying on the couch. I feel it in my chest now. So, yeah, y'all take care.